What's up, everybody? This Jose with Oakland Latinos United tapping in on StreamYard. Hopefully, you guys are joining us. Today is live with Jay. With Oakland Latinos United tapping in on. So hopefully, you guys can hear me out there. It looks like I had another thing on. So what's up, man? Where's everybody at? Hopefully, you guys are joining in. Let's see if more people are joining in. If you guys can hear me and you're joining in, press the number 1. Remember, I'm new to StreamYard, so this is I'm new to doing this. You said there's an echo. Hold on. I'm gonna stop that echo. Is there still an echo or no? So what's up, man? This is live with Jay, number 54 out here. You feel me? Hopefully you guys are joining in. We'll get more people. Yeah, I had my phone was on, so that's what it was. So what's up, man? Let's see if more people join up real quick, and we'll get it started. A lot of things I want to talk about today. I want to talk about revisit some of the videos I did in the past about gang and barrio history, and I want to talk about the consequences of living that lifestyle. And I want to talk about a lot of various things, you know what I mean? Things that I was talking about, generational trauma, you know, different generations destroyed by gangs and drugs. So I want to get a little bit into the history, at least of Oakland, and I'll try to delve into a little bit of the history of other cities around the Bay Area. And maybe after I'm done talking, maybe Leva, who you calling Leva? But maybe once I get done talking, we'll have some people join the panel. But probably for the good 20 minutes, I want to talk a little bit about the history of barrios and Chicanos in the Bay Area, the gangs, and why people gravitated towards gangs, and how some of the prison politics played into it, and the consequences that a lot of our young raza got caught up in, and basically where do we go from there? You know what I mean? What's the future for our community, for the youth of our community, and what will prevent future generations from dying and getting killed and going down the wrong path? And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. What's up, 510 Life Oaklander? But yeah, we're gonna get it started soon. It looks like we're getting more people in. So once we get it, yeah, about a good 10 people on here now. And like I said, once I'm done with the discussion, and if anyone wants to join in, I'll leave a link. And if you want to join the panel and talk about it, we could talk about it. But please don't come on here trolling, you know, showing pipas and other stupid stuff, bro. If that's all you're gonna do, bro, go to another channel. You know what I mean? I don't need your BS in my channel, for real. So I just don't have time for it. I don't have time for JKEX. But anyway, let's get it started. So basically, I wanted to talk about the history of the barrios in Oakland and the Bay Area, and you know, the generational trauma, you could say, of the consequences of living in the barrio and growing up in a bad community, you know, and getting involved in gangs. And I want to kind of give a history of how some of these gangs were formed. I've talked about it in other videos, but I'll talk about it again. We'll recap some of the things I've done in the past. You know, I've made videos about the history of barrios in Oakland. But, you know, once again, like I told you, to start, we got to take it way back. Way back. What's up, Cepeda? We got to take it way back to the 1940s. And we could even take it before that. But I want to start at the 1940s because the 1940s is when the whole Pachuco Zuzu thing started happening. And that was kind of like the first generation of gangsters, or at least Chicano gangsters that we know of. You know what I mean? Or at least street gangs. You know, there probably had been some before, but that's kind of where it came from. You know what I mean? And here in the Bay Area, we definitely had those type of gangs, the Zuzu Pachuco gangs, you know, going back to the 1940s. You got to remember 1943, in 1943, from 1941 all the way to 1945 was World War II. And the Bay Area was the place where a lot of people came to work in the shipyards. They came to work in the military installations. A lot of people were in the Marines, were in the Navy, were in the Army. And so the Bay Area was the place they would come to. And, most people know about the African Americans who came from Louisiana, from the South, to work in the shipyards in Richmond and Oakland. But also a lot of Chicanos came here from New Mexico, Texas, Arizona, and Colorado, and Mexicanos came as braceros as well to work in the railroads and the shipyards and in the agricultural. And what's up, Mid OB? But from that, the Pachuco style was brought from El Paso, Texas. A lot of the migrants that came here kind of brought that style over here, and then in LA it was a popular style as well. And they had originated from the the jazz swing culture in New York and Harlem. And Oakland was a place of a lot of jazz, a lot of jazz clubs, a lot of swing, a lot of mambo clubs and Mexican clubs as well, like Sweet's Ballroom, La Estrella Theater. What was the other place? Esther the Orbit Room, Alibaba, the Sands Room, Slim Jenkins Club in West Oakland. So there was a lot of places for people to go dancing. And you got to remember, people were making good money at the time because of the war. And a lot of Chicanos, whether they were in Oakland or somewhere else in the Bay Area or Richmond or in LA, were making money because of the war effort. And basically they were buying these zoot suits, you know what I mean? And to wear a zoot suit, see, a lot of people, how can I say, they kind of romanticize the Pachucos and the zoot suiters, but you got to remember, at the time, to wear a zoot suit was like being a cholo in modern time, or like being, a dude with his pants sagging with gold grill, talking about, "What's up, my ninja?" It was something to that effect. If you wore a zoot suit and you were a Pachuco, you were looked down upon. You feel me? And the Pachuco gangs were all over the Bay Area, whether people want to accept it or not. It wasn't just in LA. They had Pachuco gangs in Richmond. They had Pachuco gangs in Oakland. They had them in Hayward and San Jose. You feel me? They had them all over in San Francisco. Wherever there were people around, they also had black zoot suiters as well. You know what I mean? In Richmond and Oakland and in various cities around the Bay Area. Now, from the documentation I did, there were a lot of Pachuco gangs in West Oakland and some in East Oakland. And one of the biggest in East Oakland was called the 23rd Ave Gang. You know what I mean? And they originated around the area of 23rd Ave and East 15th area, which today, if you know your Oakland history, was where the East 15th gang, Quince, is from. You know what I mean? And they were a mixed gang of Chicanos and Portuguese and even whites, who all hung out together and wore zoot suits. Now, why were kids joining gangs in the 1940s? Well, you got to remember, why were at least Chicano Raza youth joining these gangs in the 1940s? A lot of it was because, you got to remember, at the time, there was a lot of racism going on. Chicanos and Raza were looked upon as second-class citizens. There were still places that if you were Mexican or if you were Puerto Rican or if you were some kind of Latino, you were prevented from going into an establishment. And this created resentment because that generation is what I like to call the Mexican American generation. Because they didn't feel quite Mexican, but they didn't feel quite America. Because Mexicans were telling them you're not American enough, and Americans were telling them you're not American because you're not white enough. You know what I mean? And I think poverty at the time, even though during the war era they were making money, but still racism, poverty, and lack of education created these Pachuco gangs. And many of the youth joined these gangs because they wanted to feel, empowered, basically. You know what I mean? And there was a backlash at the time. You had the zoot suit riots, so-called, they were really sailor riots, where sailors were going around beating up zoot suiters. And some of that happened even in the Bay Area. Yes, Dakota, Hayward, and all those cities for sure had pachucos back in the days, Eliasar. Wherever there was raza, you were for sure to find them. So, you go into the 40s and 50s. The Zusu kind of went out of style, but the pachucos changed, and it became more of they call them the Hondos, at least in Oakland. And I'm not sure exactly where that term came from, but the Hondos were like the new version of the pachucos in the 40s, late 40s and 50s. And there was a war against them back then, to be a Pachuco or a Hondo. I remember this old white man from Oakland told me that they used to call them the Pachuks. Like, oh my God, here comes the Pachuks. You know what I mean? But at the time, there was wars against them. The police would put anti-Zusu, anti-Pachuco ordinances. They would do raids against Pachuco gangs in Oakland and around the Bay Area, including Richmond and San Francisco and San Jose as well. And yeah, that stuff happened out here where they were arresting people, they were sending people to jail, they were criminalizing youth of color or Chicano youth at that time, for sure, in the 40s and 50s. You know what I mean? Then you come into the 60s. And in the 60s, there was a lot of changes around the Bay Area and around the Southwest because you had the Chicano movement. The Chicano movement was a big movement that happened at the time, and you had we've talked about that before. You had the Chicano Moratorium, the Brown Berets, the Chicano Revolutionary Party, and various organizations that had formed to fight the system because people were like, basta con eso, we don't want to be discriminated against. We were treated like second-class citizens because we're Chicanos, you know what I mean? And that's where that movement came from. In Oakland, I've talked about it before. The movement came to Oakland when a young man named Charles De Vaca, or Charles Pinky De Vaca, and I made a video about him, was murdered by Oakland police in 1968 over there by over there on 35th by Galindo. And that was in 1968. He was murdered by the Oakland police. And that's what sparked the Chicano movement in Oakland. The Black Panthers had already existed. Huey Newton and Bobby Seale had created that movement in West Oakland, North and West Oakland. And the Chicanos in Oakland, who had been Hondos in the past, were now joining the Chicano movement. Now they were being part of the Brown Berets and the Chicano Revolutionary Party and the La Raza Unida Party and various others. Latinos United for Justice, which were one of the organizations that existed at the time in Oakland and Hayward. And that's where I got the name Oakland Latinos United from. You know what I mean? From there, the Chicano movement began to die out because, COINTELPRO, drugs started coming in. People started leaving the movimiento. Some people got educated and left the movimiento. Various things that happened at the time. You know what I mean? And that's why the Chicano movement died out in Oakland. And you had a big flood of drugs, especially heroin. Heroin came into Oakland strongly. And then you had a gang that formed at the time called Los Hermanos del Barrio. And Los Hermanos del Barrio was one of the first Chicano gangs, really Cholo gangs, which was this new thing that was in style at the time. The Cholos and the Lowriders. You know what I mean? Los Hermanos del Barrio was the first Cholo gang in East Oakland. You know what I mean? And it was started by Carlos Parkin. Those of you who might know him, that's Bean Parkin from the 60s. And it was a gang made up of Chicanos from East Oakland. According to something I had read, was they started because the blacks and the Filipinos would try to beat them up, try to fight them. So they started Los Hermanos del Barrio to protect Chicanos from getting beat up by other minorities, according to what I heard. And from there, Los Hermanos del Barrio kind of broke off, and it became different cliques, like the 60s. And then, because Carlos Parkin and them, they lived over there. The Bean, they lived over there in 65th. So they became the 60s. You had Barrio Oakland locals that formed in East Oakland. You had Quince. You had Jingletown. You had Fruit Belt Gangsters. You had various cliques that started forming around. And then in the late 70s, early 80s, you had from Barrio Oakland locals, VOL, you started having some of them go into 38. You also have 41st Cycles. You know what I mean? And that's when the cholo thing was really big. Something that don't really get talked about that much. You know what I mean? That was the big history of that era. You know what I mean? And then you started having other cliques like 36 Locals, which is where my brother was from. You started having Wino Park, which at that time were, from what I was told, they were like paisas that were cholos. That's what I was told. They weren't sureños or border brothers. They were just like paisas that were cholos. You started having 46 Locals, 96 Ab Locals in Deep East Oakland. That was one of the first big Chicano gangs in the Deep. You know what I mean? The 9600. You started having I know for a fact there wasn't there was a clique called ¿cómo se llama? Mojado Power is what I was told. It was like a paisa clique. You know what I mean? And I remember like there used to be a lot of cholos when I was a kid. I used to see them around San Antonio Park. You used to see them around Wino Park. You used to see them at this bar in West Oakland. They used to be in San Pablo. You used to see hella lowriders and cholos there all the time. You used to see people cruising around. It was a different era. You feel me? Chicanos back then were still really big into the Chicano onda. You feel me? And once all these cliques got established in Oakland, obviously there was a lot of people that started going to jail. You know what I mean? Barrio Mojado Solamente, órale. Yeah, I think did I say Mojado Power? Maybe it was called Barrio Mojado Solamente. Okay. Maybe you corrected me. But my brother had told me about them, you know what I mean? And I never personally met no one from that hood, to be honest with you, from that gang. But I remember my brother and a few other people telling me about them. But once you started having gente going to the Pinta, a lot of homies were going to the pen. From what I remember and from what my brothers have told me, yeah, there were some dudes already repping Norte. There weren't any Sureños that I couldn't remember. I never remember hearing the term Sur or Norte really when I was a kid. I remember when I was a kid, it was all about barrios. Like if a Chicano was banging, most likely he was throwing up his barrio, like 38 or 36 or Jingletown or 15, you know what I mean? Or Fruitvale. That's what, when I was a kid and even a early teenager, like 12, 13, that's what I remember hearing. You know what I mean? I don't remember no one Norte, Sur, I don't remember hearing that. Or BBs, I don't remember hearing about that. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. I'm not going to say it wasn't out there and there weren't dudes already claiming it, because there probably were, but it wasn't emphasized the way it would become in the 90s, it seemed like. You know what I mean? It seemed like back then it was more about barrio, it was more about hoods. Your hood was, it kind of reminded me of how LA is, you know what I mean? Like they were more about their turf, their street, their barrio, their hood, you know what I mean? Than about, about Norte or Sur, you know what I mean? And then my brother told me that he would go out to Richmond at that time in the 80s, because back then they used to cruise on 23rd Street, the 23rd Street cruise, the lowriders. That was very popular. It was like Boulevard Nights out there. So was the Mission District, you feel me? And and he would tell me that he would go out there and he remembers like they had VFL, Barrio Frontera Locals, and he remembers I don't know if they were claiming Sur back then, but he told me about them back in the 80s. He said that they were like paisas, cholos. And then he told me that there was also another gang called VSP, Barrio San Pablo. And those were like the two big gangs at that time. I think he told me there was something called Barrio Richmond Norte too at that time. You know what I mean? And obviously, you would hear about barrios like A Street and Hayward, West End Hayward, called Masia, you know what I mean? Dakota Head Stompers. You would hear about West Side Berkeley. I used to hear about West Side Berkeley a lot when I was a kid. West Park, Strawberry Creek, West Berkeley, 9th Street. I remember hearing about all these barrios when I was a kid. You know what I mean? And basically, once dudes started going to the Pinta, once dudes started going to the jail, you know what I mean? A lot of fools started coming out. And I don't think RST existed in the 80s, bro. Cepeda. Richmond Barrio Locals. I heard about them too. From what I was told, it was VFL and VSP. and I think VRL and Richmond Barrio Richmond Norte is what I heard was another clique back in those days. From what I heard, I don't know. I'm not from Richmond, but that's what I remember hearing. You know what I mean? I think VFL's still around, but and I met actually one of the dudes who founded Easter Hill Locals. I think that was a Sureño gang too back in the days. He's a really cool dude. I really would like to, I'm gonna get in contact with that dude. I want to actually interview him. He's cool. His name is Diego. He's from Richmond. He came and spoke at one of my events one time. But yeah, he was one of the founders of Easter Hill Locals in Richmond. But I'm going back to what I was talking about. So once fools started going to the Pinta, once fools started going in and out of jail, you started hearing more about Norte. You know what I mean? You started hearing more about it on the streets, about Norte and 14, and I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what the hell it was, bro. I remember the first time I ever heard about Norte ever, and this is a true story. This had to have been like 88, 89. I was like 12 years old. And at that time, I didn't used to go to Lazier. Lazier was a school in my barrio on East 7th Street. But at the time, they thought I had a learning deficiency. They thought I had a learning problem. Like they thought I was slow or something. And they sent me to a school called Franklin, which was more by Funktown. So I would take the AC Transit, the number 82, all the way down from Fruitvale and East 14th, all the way down to Funktown to like, I would say that's like what, like 8th and Foothill, something like that. And I went to that school for like 2 years, 3 years, and because I had to take a special class, unfortunately. But and actually I ended up being smarter than motherfuckers think. But anyway, fuck the Oakland School District. But that's another story for another time. But anyway, I was riding the bus back home, the number 82. Those of you who are OG Oakland, you know what the number 82 is. I was riding the bus, the number 82, and this little youngster, little Cholito, came up to me. He's like, "What's up, bro? I'm so-and-so from 38." I'm like 12 years old, and the dude was probably like 13 or 14. He's like, 38, straight Norte. And I'm like, huh? I didn't know what he was talking. I knew what 38 was, but I didn't know what Norte was. So I told him, "Hey, bro, my brother, he's from 36, bro." He's like, "Oh, yeah? Who's your brother?" I said, "My brother is TJ from 36. He's like, "Oh, that's your brother?" I said, "Yeah." And then he shook my hand. He's like, "All right, yeah, I know who your brother is." And then he left me alone. But that was the first time I ever heard Norte. He was like 38 Norte. And I was like, Norte? I didn't know what that was. I'm like, North? Is he from North Oakland? What's he talking? I didn't know, you know what I mean? I'm a little kid. Fuck, I'm still watching Ninja Turtles. You feel me? But I went and asked my brother, like, "What's Norte?" This dude hit me up saying he's from 38 Norte. I'm like, "What's that?" And he broke it down to me, even at that time, what Norte was. He told me that it was a penitentiary prison thing. And it didn't make sense to me. Like, if it's a prison thing, why is this little, like, 14-year-old banging Norte to me? I'm not in prison. So it didn't make sense to me. But it seemed like after that incident, I started seeing it more and more. And then around like 90, 91, I started hearing about Kilo's Border Brothers. Like Border Brothers. First time I ever heard about Border Brothers was a dude told me he got jumped by some Border Brothers at the castle. Who's from the town and remembers where the castle is? If you from the town from back in the days, you know what the fuck the Castle Malibu is. You feel me? You know where that's at. You know what I mean? And don't lie to me. You know you went to the castle as a kid. Leave it in the comment if you remember the castle in Oakland. I know you remember it. You feel me? It's like being from Oakland and not remembering the Eastmont Mall. You feel me? Or Soul Beat. But anyway, this one homie I knew, he told me he got jumped at the castle by some Border Brothers. I was like, Border Brother, ¿qué es eso? I didn't know what that was. You feel me? And then next thing you know, you started hearing the fucking little Border Brothers are trying to take over Oakland and trying to take over. And now all of a sudden, you know what I mean? The homies from like the older barrio was like 36, 38 and Fruitvale and all these hoods. are now at war with these border brothers. And next thing you know, there's like this war between BBs and the Norteños. You feel me? And you know, it seemed like I started noticing that the older gangs, like Fruitvale, 36, 38, 15, and those hoods started repping Norte. And you started having the new cliques like East 7th Street. You started having you started having East 7th Street. You started having 54th locals. You started having the new 60s, which were the UNTs. At that time, they were claiming green. I heard, from what I remember, and you had a lot of new cliques that were coming around. You also had other cliques like All Brothers Together, ABT. You know what I mean? You started having a lot of Asian Crips and Bloods, the Asian Crips. Yeah, Mitchell Street. But Mitchell Street, I started hearing about them more like around 95, 96 is when I started hearing about them more. But yeah, Mitchell Street, that's the homies right there from Mitchell, MSN. AP9's in a coma. Oh shit, what happened? Hopefully pulls through. But yeah, you started hearing about these different gangs. And you know, it's no surprise that in 92, 90, you know, early 90s to about probably I would say 89 till about like 93, it was some of the most deadliest years in Oakland and in Richmond and in East Palo Alto. And yes, mostly it was blacks killing each other over drug turfs, but a lot of it was Chicanos and Raza killing each other as well. Trust me, a lot of homies got killed because of the North End Border Brothers. A lot of folks probably in the rich were getting killed because of the North End Sud. I'm sure in other cities as well was going on too. You feel me? And yeah, I remember at that time, because you got to remember, in '92 I left to Sacramento for a couple of years, and but even when I was at SAC, because I went from SAC, I was 92 to 95 in SAC, and I remember even in Sacramento, like my brother and some of the people I was in contact with in Oakland, you know, every time I talked to them, it was like a new person was dead. You feel me? And it just seemed like a new person was dead. You know, it was like every time someone new dead, you know, got killed by gangs or got killed by the police or died in a drug overdose or died, you know what I mean? It was just people were dying left and right at that time. It was sad, you know what I mean? And then you had the late 80s. You had the late 80s, you know what I mean? Gangs like the Border Brothers were well established. The Norteño gangs were well established. You know what I mean? Then you started having Sureños coming in, which is what you didn't really have in Oakland as much. I mean, cities like Richmond probably already had them. I know Hayward had South Garden. You know what I mean? But in Oakland, they didn't really have them. It was mostly Border Brothers. Then you started hearing about SSL, Southside Locals. They started coming around. I would say I started hearing about them really around 97, 98. Maybe they were around before that. I don't know. I don't remember really hearing about them. Before that, all I ever heard about was the Border Brothers. And another thing is, someone said Speedy, Payaso, Capone, Chico, 38. Yeah, Gumby, Fruit. Yeah, Gumby, that's my boy. I know Speedy too. Yeah, Gumby, that's my homie. That's my ninja right there. I known him since way back on East 7th Street since I was a little kid. But you know, the Border Brothers had become so well established in Oakland at that time that they even had subsets of Border Brothers. They had VFL, which meant don't fuck with Latinos. They had VLB, Barrio Latino Brothers. You know what I mean? And kind of the Deep East had become their territory. You know, 82nd, 81st, 85th, 94th is, you know, well known, 9400. Even the old 96, where the old 96 locals, the old Norteños used to be. You know what I mean? And Gumby went back. I heard he was out. Is he back in jail? But you started you know, the Border Brothers. Let's keep it real, man. No matter whether you like Border Brothers or not, the Border Brothers put it down in the town. I'll give them that for sure. They put it down, and they made a name for themselves for sure. And then they had to deal with, you know, both Norte and Sud. You know what I mean? Now, I remember the first time I really heard about Border Brothers from the homies, you know, from the block, from the barrio. They used to tell me, oh, the Border Brothers are Sureños. The Border Brothers are, the S word, that they use against Sureños. And I was like, that's what I thought at first, you know what I mean? Until I started learning that they were their own thing. But I remember fools used to assume that they were Sureños, you know what I mean? I'm surprised none of the YouTube Norteños claim they never heard of Gumby. Well, Gumby, man, I've known Gumby for years, bro. That's my boy. But even Martin 9400, he's from 94 Black. He knows what I'm talking about. You feel me? And you had big kingpins too that were whatchamacallit, that were they were sewing up the money for the Border Brothers and for the Norteños as well. You know what I mean? You had Fat Tone, who was from Jingletown, who was affiliated with the Border Brothers. You had Mexican Mike, who's from Deep East Oakland, who was obviously affiliated with NF. You know what I mean? And he was affiliated with Blacks and Samoans and Norteños, and he was like, a kingpin. So was Fat Tone, and they both passed away. Unfortunate deaths. May they both rest in peace. I didn't know Mike, but I knew Tone, and R.I.P. to them. And you had a lot of others that we don't hear about. You know what I mean? And you had a lot of Black drug dealers as well, like Felix Mitchell, Lil D, Anthony Flowers, Mickey Mo, and so many others, man. You feel me? And the town's been with the game for a long time. So once the Sureños started trying to get established in Oakland, you go into the hyphy era, the 2000s, and you have this whole new generation that's not really Chicano oriented anymore like they used to be. You know what I mean? You start having now this new generation of hyphy dudes with gold grill and shake your dreads and long hair. They don't dress in khakis no more. Now they're wearing, instead of bands, they're wearing jerbots and long white tees, and it's a whole new onda. You feel me? A whole new generation of homies coming up, Border Brothers coming up. You feel me? Even Sureños. You feel me? Everybody was gravitating to this hyphy era. Go dumb, go retarded. What did somebody say? The Border Brothers were wearing regular, not colors. I remember they would wear a lot of black. Martin says they would rock Raiders gear and black bandana. I remember the black bandanas. I don't remember the Boston Red Sox, but I remember the black bandanas. But going back to what I was saying, the go dumb, go hyphy era. And then you started having a new generation of Norteños and Border Brothers and Sureños. And now all three of these gangs were at war with each other. You know what I mean? Over control of the streets, you feel me? And it was deadly. It was deadly. It was really deadly. A lot of people got killed during that era. Like I said, I've said it in Spills before. I said it in Convict's Perspective and Gunner. It was bad. That's why they made that documentary, ¿cómo se llama? The Gang Wars one, because it really was bad out there. Those eras were really, really, they were really fucked up. People were getting killed left and right. You feel me? And it was dangerous. It was dangerous like it is right now in Oakland. There was a lot of young raza was getting killed out there, and it was just ugly. You feel me? And people got killed on all sides. Border Brothers got killed. Sureños got killed. Norteños got killed. You feel me? A lot of young homies lost their lives. And that's the point of this, live tonight. I wanted to break down the barrio history, at least of Oakland. And, you had other cities too. Like I said, Richmond, you had RST, you had VFL, you had VSP, you had, Richmond Barrio Locals, you had other cliques too, the Nightwalkers, you feel me? In Hayward, you had A Street, you had Northside Hayward, Campo Ramos, South Garden, South Hayward, DGF, Palmacia. In Vallejo, you had Barrio Centro Vallejo, you had BPM, Brown Pride Norteños, you had a BBH, Brown Brotherhood, which was a Sureño gang from out there. You know what I mean? In San Francisco, you had 24th Street, 22nd and Bryant. You had E-Mob, you had 19th Street Sureños, you had MS-13 on 20th Street. You feel me? You had Dakota, Dodgetown, Barrio Grande, Dakota. You feel me? You had Old Alvarado. You had Fremont. You know what I mean? Fremont. You had what was that? I don't remember the name of the gangs in Fremont, but You had I can't remember. If you know the barrios in Fremont, leave it down there in the comments. And San Jose as well. San Jose long established. You know what I mean? So my thing is, a whole generation of our youth, you know what I mean, was genocided during this era. And it goes back all the way to the Pachucos to now. Seriously, you don't ever think of it in that way, but it does. It goes, FMT Irvington, yep. It goes back to the Pachuco era. You feel me? And it comes all the way to now. The Pachucos were the forefathers of all this. They were, whether you want to accept it or not. The Hondos and the Pachucos from the 40s and 50s were the precursors of today's gangs, And they had the gang injunctions in the 2011, which I was against. You know what I mean? You had gentrification going on in Oakland. R.I.P. Big Joe. Yeah, man. I'll tell you a story about that too, from Mitchell Street. Yeah, man. That's the homie's brother. Gentrification. People have been pushed out of Oakland. I really don't know how active gangs are in East Oakland today. You know what I mean? I still see the graffiti out there, but our border brothers and Norteños still deep in Oakland, our Sureños still deep in Oakland. I'm not sure. I do see graffiti out when I go out there. I do see homies hanging out from time to time. But, it doesn't look like what I remember when I was a youngster. You feel me? And, you just, from the Pachuco era to now, you had a whole generation of people that've been genocided, man. Young people, bro. Young raza, bro. Young raza like us when we were young. Or if you are young raza like yourself. That, right now they could have been grandparents. They could have been parents. They could have been leaders. They could have been city councilmen. They could have been doctors. They could have been, even if they worked at the grocery store, they could have been doing something. You feel me? They could have been making YouTube channels like Gunner and me and other people. You feel me? But they're gone, bro, and they'll never get that chance. They never made it to modern times. You feel me? And it doesn't matter if they were upstate Sureños, if they were Norteños, BBs, if they were from LA, if they were from Sacramento, from the Central Valle, from Chicago, wherever they may be from. You feel me? A whole generation of our people have been murdered, of our youth have been murdered over the gang stuff, man. And that has affected our community in big ways that we don't think. It's created generational trauma. Some people may be like, it's not that big. But no, it is a big deal because a lot of people have been killed. You feel me? And maybe it's not as bad today as it is. But I mean, there's still 130-something homicides in Oakland. Hella people got killed in Oakland this week. You know what I mean? Even a family member of someone I'm close to got killed in Oakland recently. So it's crazy, man. And I don't know if the murders today have anything to do with gangs like they did in the past. But, I just wanted to talk about a little bit about that history with you guys, share some plecha with you about Oakland and about the Bay Area. And what's in store for the future of our raza? How are we going to come up? How are we going to defeat gentrification? You know what I mean? How are we not going to get caught up in the bad things that have happened in the past? And what are we doing to teach the youth, our kids, or our primos, or our nephews, or whatever, or our little mocosos in the barrio, in the hood? You feel me? What are we doing to guide them straight? You feel me? So, like I always do, man, if you guys are tapping in and you want to donate to Oakland Latinos United, I'm going to put my Cash App in the comments. If you want to donate anything, any little thing, $5, $2, help and support a local Chicano YouTuber who's been doing this since way back in the days. You feel me? And, yeah, man, I put the link to my Cash App. If you want to donate any little thing to help out Oakland Latinos United, tap it in. So now I want to invite you guys, but serious people only, please. No drama, no sex tripping, no gang banging. You feel me? No, none of that. It's all respect here. No trolls, no fucking retards showing dicks and stupid things like that. Because if you're gonna join my StreamYard, come with respect, bro. So I left the link right there. If you want to join, tap in the conversation and put in your 2 cents about this history. Maybe you could give me a little history about your barrio, where you're from, or at least the area you grew up in. And if you have something to talk about, you know, about 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 just what's the future for our raza. You feel me? So if you guys want to join, I'll leave a link one more time on the StreamYard. That's why I got StreamYard. Like that, we could have other gente join in on the conversation. If you want to join in and say what's up, maybe you might have lived through some of the stuff I talked about. You might remember some of the things that triggered some memories. So let me know if you guys want to join in. I left the link. If you guys want to also donate to the cause, go to my Cash App and donate a little something if you want to help out Jose from Oakland Latinos United one time. But if anybody wants to join, feel free. I left the link. If you don't see the link, I could leave it again. But yeah, feel free to join in if you guys want to join in on the conversation. Just please don't come in with drama. Don't come in with gang stuff. If you have questions about barrios and hoods, that's fine. But don't come in, hey, I'm a norteño and screw this. I'm a sureño, screw nah. Come with respect, homie. You feel me? Jose and Lake Chabot, there's a bunch of benches dedicated to the children of violence of the 90s. Have you been? They have plaques with their name. No, I haven't checked that out. Lake Chabot? Shit, send me a picture of that one day. I'd like to check that out. Yeah, man. But yeah, if anyone wants to join in, I'll leave it one more time. If anybody wants to tap into the conversation, you feel me? They still got 38 locals, or are they just norte? I don't know. I think they're still around. But if anyone wants to join into the StreamYard, join in, tap in. I left the link if you guys want to join in. If not, then, it's all good. I guess I'm on my own. You feel me? But, yeah, so did I have friends that were Ennis in Montalban Manor? Did I have friends? I knew some girls from Montalban Manor. I don't remember too many dudes, but I remember them telling me that they were homies in Montalban Manor. But yeah, if you guys want to join into the stream, feel free to. Please come in here respectfully. No drama. Let's be mature. Let's be men. Let's not act like little kids. If you guys want to join in and tap into the conversation. So if you didn't see the link, let me know and I'll put it again. But I have a link out there for those of you who want to join in. If not, then I guess I'll be on my own. But yeah, man. Once again, it's Oakland Latinos United tapping in. You know what I mean? Talking about generational trauma. The things that in the past that still affect our communities today, and what are we going to do to change the situation for our future raza? For real, it's something I talk about, not saying they're part of the Joto generation and all this bullshit. What are we going to do to change the community, to guide our youth? You know what I mean? We say our youth are misguided, but what are you doing to guide the future youth to not get caught up in the BS, to end up going to school? You feel me? To do something about themselves, to be future lawyers, to be future, teachers, to be future whatever, to change our community. Yeah, it's ugly in Oakland right now, man. I know. So nobody want to join into the conversation. Nobody want to tap in. But yeah, man, I'll leave a link one more time if you guys want to join in. Or we can, if you guys want to tap in with anything about what I talked about tonight. And yeah, it has been bad in Oakland this last year. You know what I mean? It's been ugly out there. I haven't even been going out to Oakland, that much like I normally do, because I don't live in Oakland right now. I live nearby Oakland, not too far from Oakland, but I try to stay away because it's just been all bad out there. You feel me? And I'm not trying to get caught up in no one's bullshit. Someone have you thought about going to schools and talk to youngsters about gangs? I kind of have done that before. I wouldn't mind doing it again, but I mean, I wasn't in a gang, so it would be I don't know. I don't want to say it will seem fake, but you know, I didn't live. I lived that lifestyle to some degree. Like put it like this: like when I was young, I would see my brothers and all the homies in the hood with the females and the cars, and I'd be like, yeah, I want to be like them. I want to be a homie from the hood. But then, luckily, yeah, I live in Piedmont Hills in my mansion. But luckily, reality set in quickly. You feel me? And let me see. I'm gonna have someone join in. Hope. Oh no, someone wanted to join in, but it looks like they tapped out. But luckily I seen reality for what it was really quickly, and I seen people going to jail. I seen people getting killed, and I didn't want to go down that route. So I kind of, I was like, I don't want to be part of that lifestyle. And then I went to Santa Rita one time, and it just wasn't good. You feel me? It just wasn't cool. I was like, this ain't cool. I don't want to be locked up like this. You feel me? And little things like that, and seeing homies getting killed, and getting harassed by gangbangers. You feel me? You know what I mean? You can't even walk down the street without getting, hey, where you from? Straight border brother, straight suit or whatever. You know what I mean? It just, you feel me? It just, it just turned me away from that. What's up, bro?
What's up, bro?
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm chilling, bro. So tapping into the conversation. What's your thoughts about what I talked about tonight? And I know you probably lived through some of the stuff I talked about tonight.
Oh, for sure. I remember all the BBs and all that going off back in the 90s.
Yeah,
Shit
man.
was tough.
That shit was crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like I remember you couldn't even walk down the street in certain places without getting harassed, bro.
Bro, I remember you couldn't cross over to Jingletown if you was on the border, bro, back in like the mid 90s.
Oh yeah. They had BBs in Tingletown. I remember that, bro.
You remember that little park right there, right by the freeway?
Yeah, the one by the Shell gas station.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to play in that park when I was a little kid.
Yeah, you remember when them folks took it over, though? It used to be
Which
deep
one?
in there. And them folks took over that park.
Yeah. I remember
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was ugly, bro. And then like you couldn't go to the deep, bro. If you were like from the Fruitvale area, it was
Oh,
just
hell
so
no.
bad going to the deep, bro.
Yeah.
And I
I have,
remember they used to have some BBs like in the Doves. Remember that? Like on 28th, I think, right there by Hawthorne.
yeah. Wasn't that the DFLs? Wasn't that them over there?
It was either DFL or VLB, one of those
Yeah,
two, but I
that was
think it was
one of them.
DFLs.
Yeah, yeah, they was deep for a minute.
Yeah, it was ugly, bro. I remember that shit was a war zone when I was a kid, bro.
Yeah,
And they had all the Tiger crews like UNCs and SKs and KODs. They had a whole bunch of them, remember?
yeah, that's what I was in SK.
Yeah, Psychotic Kings, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that, bro.
yeah,
I
that shit was crazy. We dropped the tag and then like we started banging for a little bit.
yeah, I remember that shit. And
Yeah,
then did you ever get to meet Mike Dream Francisco?
I never met him. He was already dead by the time I got into all that shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. What's up, Curry, man? But yeah, he got killed like in late '90s, early 2000s, somewhere around there.
yeah, like in '96, I think, or something.
Yeah. He got murdered in West Oakland, I heard.
Yeah, I heard it was over his chain, his gold chain.
Yeah. Fat Tone got killed in West Oakland. You remember Fat Tone?
Yeah, well, I never met him, but I knew who he was. Yeah,
Did you see him around like when you lived on East 7th Street?
yeah,
Yeah, he got killed in West Oakland too.
that's just crazy.
Yeah, from what I heard, he got murdered in supposedly a drug deal gone bad, supposedly.
Yeah, I heard some crazy shit too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
the West wasn't playing back then either. I mean, it still ain't right now, but
Yeah, I remember also Mexican Mike, bro. I don't know if did you ever hear about him when he was alive?
yeah, yeah. I heard about
I used to hear about him a lot. I never met him, didn't know him, but I remember some of the homies in the hood used to tell me about him, like that he was like this big time no Daniel. He was like balling out of control.
yeah, that nigga Eminem, yeah,
Yeah, and then next thing you know, I remember hearing and then what I remember, I would always hear all the homies talk about he owned hella bars or something like that.
some
Like
shit.
he supposedly had a bar in San Leandro and he had one in Oakland too, I think.
That nigga was paid, bro. I put hella, bro.
Yeah, and then I remember when he got. I remember hearing about when he got killed.
Yeah, that shit's rough.
Yeah, bro. It was a crazy time, bro. But I reflect back on those things, bro, and I just think about the generation of youngsters that got killed, bro. People that could have been something right now.
Yeah, it's like half a generation, or maybe a third of a generation.
Like my
Fucking,
brother TJ, bro. I swear to God, most of his homies are dead, bro. Most of them,
I believe it.
and a lot of them didn't make it to even their 20s, bro.
Yeah,
You know, they
I
died
believe it.
young.
Yeah, yeah, that shit. It was crazy, man. People was really doing that shit. That was the thing to do back then.
Did you ever hear about a dude? I don't remember if he was from Fruitvale or Jingletown, but he used to be deep in East 7th Street. I don't know if you were there yet, though. His name was Lil Juan, Juan Hernandez. Did you ever hear about him?
Sounds familiar, but I mean, I might have seen him around.
He was a nut, bro. I remember he got murdered by OPD right there by the Fruitvale Bar. He tried to shoot
Um,
a cop, bro, and the cop blasted him.
okay, yeah, that sounds familiar.
That had to have been like 89, 90 when that happened.
Yeah, I'm telling you, fucking Frugal used to be the spot back then. All the FEGs used to hang out there.
Yeah. Remember the bar station used to be hella grimy too?
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's like, he was like what you say from the front, but if you went in the back, you was asking for trouble.
And then I remember there used to be these one fools that used to claim they were bar station locals. Do you remember that?
Nah, I don't remember that.
Yeah, there was some niggas that used to hang around there saying that shit.
The Knox, right? There was like lightweight Knox.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I remember them, but then they never said shit to me because they used to see me with them KLD fools and all.
You know that other fool, he still hangs out at the Fruitvale Bar to this day. He like an old Chicano from Jingletown. He always calls everyone Primo. You know him? Primo, Primo. He talks like that.
Probably,
You
probably.
pro- you probably seen him around. He's still
I think
around, bro.
I think that's what they call them, pre.
Huh?
I think that's what they call them, pre, because he called
Yeah,
everybody
because he
primo.
calls
Yeah,
everyone Primo. He's like,
yeah, yeah,
"Oh, Primo."
yeah. I know you're talking about. Yeah.
Let me see. Someone want to join. Hopefully, if they're a troll, they're out.
All right.
What's going on, man?
Hey, salute, man. How are you doing this evening, man?
I'm doing good. Who's this?
Can't you see my name?
I can't really read your name, brother.
Yeah,
Ah,
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. That's why I didn't even say that.
yeah. Now, if people are gonna come on here doing dumb shit, bro, it's like, why even do it, bro? Act like a
Exactly.
man. Don't come if you want to come in here and have a manly discussion with me. You know what I mean? Come on here. But if you're gonna be a little kid, bro, why waste your time? You
Yeah.
got your 15 minutes of fame acting like a J-cat.
I mean, they got websites for that if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, bro. Hey, if you're into FIFAs and stuff like that, brother, hey,
Yeah.
I'm not the man to call. I'm straight, bro. You know, I don't have a problem with gays, but I don't flow that way, brother. I like mujeres. I like women, brother. So
Right.
hey, there's plenty of websites. There's plenty of probably gay men's chats out there. You guys can join in. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Keep that
But
shit home.
I mean, these dudes trolling me, bro. I mean, for me to be on their mind to want to troll me, I must make an impact on their life or something.
I'm telling you, dude, they got websites, little chats or whatever you could get into if you're thinking about a man another 24/7 like that.
Yeah, those are the crack babies from the '80s.
Right? That whole third generation.
Somebody said, "Where is David Street at?" That's in San Leandro,
San Leandro.
San Lee, the Dro.
Hey, but I keep it 100. You ever hear about San Leandro being lit like that? I ain't never heard of it being lit like that.
I
Maybe
would
back
say
in the
now it's a little bit
80s.
more lit, but I look not to make fun of San Leandro, bro, because I had a lot of cool homies from San Leandro. But when I was a kid, San Leandro was considered like Alameda. It was kind of like the nice place.
Same here. Like I always heard about Davis and I forget what the other street. Fuck, I forget. But I
Hey,
lived in San Leandro for a minute now, and I ain't never seen it get lit.
but San Leandro now, like some areas are kind of like hood now.
I mean that's all the people moving out of the town, moving over here.
Yeah, especially like up there by like 164th in that area.
Oh yeah, it's hood over there. Yeah, for sure.
That area. My sister used to live over there, and my nephew told me that, he used to be off the hook over there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, but I met some cool homies from uh, Davis Street back in the days when I was a
Yeah,
youngster.
I heard. I met some fool. His brother was supposed to be in Davis Street, but I ain't never like seen it around. And everything.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know there were like homies in San Leandro, bro, until like the mid '90s, and I started meeting homies from Davis Street.
Yeah, same here. But I never met nobody. Like I've
No,
heard of
I
them.
met a
But,
bunch of them back in the days,
oh, okay.
and then I met those dudes that were what were they called? I met them on East Seventh Street. They were from a rap group called Gorilla Pigs. You ever heard of them?
Oh, the white boys. Yeah.
Were they white or were I remember one? Some of them were Chicanos, I think.
Oh, no, they were white.
I met them and they were like homies too. I think I met them in
Yeah. They were from like 164th. Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, in the '80s and '90s, yeah, the blacks in South Berkeley and North Oakland did have a crazy ass war. To his kids, East Oakland influence. Yeah, man. Hey, but I remember also meeting homies from Alameda too back in the days. I was telling Gunner that the other day.
Yeah, that shit's crazy. Most of the people I met claimed these seven were from Alameda. I was like, what the hell? I never seen you on my street.
Yeah. Yeah, I met some dudes that told me I'm from East Seventh, and I'm like, oh yeah, and then they told me, well, but I used to live in Alameda.
Yeah, same thing. Like when they would drop me off, they'll be like, yeah, you live in the hood. I was like, yeah, I guess. Because it wasn't popping back when I lived there.
I'm live right now, brother. Someone's asking me what time is my live. I'm live right now. But yeah, man, like it's just sad. Someone said, is anyone in El Cerrito? If there is, bro, they're in the El Cerrito Richmond border, bro. I
Yeah.
would say that would be the closest thing to a hood in El Cerritos, like the people that live around like the El Cerrito Richmond border. Trust me, I've worked in the El Cerrito Richmond border, and it's kind of hood there a little bit, bro.
Yeah.
Because the Richmond people go to El Cerrito and do dirt, and then they go back to Richmond.
Wait, is that where that nation is at off of San Pablo, I think it is?
There, and do you know where Los Moles is?
Nah.
And the El Cerrito, the Norte Bar Station.
Yeah, I know where the bar station is at.
So if you go to El Cerrito del Norte, like it's hella hood at that bar station. Even though it's in El Cerrito, it's basically Richmond, bro. It's basically an extension of South Richmond there.
Yeah, okay, yeah, all right. I think that's where I've been. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah,
once you go away from those areas, El Cerrito's hella nice.
yeah,
It's not hood at all.
yeah. It's crazy. Like
Yeah,
back in
man.
the day, when I heard of Antioch and all that, I was like, what the hell? And now I guess it's hood now.
Yeah, Antioch too. I mean, I made a video about Antioch one time, and I remember the first time I went to Antioch, I was a youngster, and I worked out there, and and it was mostly like kind of like a hick town, bro. I ain't trying to make fun of it, but it was a
Yeah,
lot of like poor white people. It seemed like.
yeah. Like I've been to Brentwood. Brentwood's hella white too. Like it's country too, but it's like they got some nice parts
It was
about this
more
too.
country when I first went there in the '90s,
But
bro. To Brentwood, it was
then
hardly anything there.
they be getting hella party over there.
It was cracking. Yeah, man. Somebody said Alameda had a small hood called Buena Vista. I remember Alameda also had a small hood called the West End or West Alameda.
West Side Alameda, yeah,
Hey, remember the old flea market that used to be in West Alameda?
yeah. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, it used to be the drive-in too. Remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody said, "What's the church name in Jingletown?" It's called Mary Help of Christians.
Across the street from Bosco's.
But in Spanish we call it Maria Auxiliadora. I'm sure you heard it called that too, or you never heard that before. Shortcuts.
I, honestly, bro, I thought the whole thing was called Bosco's back in the day. You know how that park's called Bosco's across the street?
Yeah. No, the church was called Mary Help of Christian. But I remember the Mexican ladies used to, like my mom, they would call it Maria Auxiliadora.
Yeah, no, I remember. Shit, they had a hall in there, right? Like at the bottom of the church or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. They used to always have like quinceañeras there and
Yeah,
stuff. I
exactly.
remember
That's how
going.
I know it. Yeah, like I never knew the name of it, but I used to go with Hello Bronson.
And then when I was a kid in the '80s, bro, I remember they used to give like free toys and stuff, and like free toys and free bread and free food, like on like on like Christmas and like whenever there was a holiday.
Okay.
I remember that, and then my mom would always go to mass because my mom was very religious. I'm not very
Yeah, yeah,
religious.
yeah.
Go to mass a lot to Saint Elizabeth, Saint Liz.
Okay, yeah. I've been to
Yeah, over
St.
there
Louis a few
on
times.
34th.
Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, Bosco's. I used to ride my bike over there, bro. I got hella memories in the little store right there.
yeah.
La
Dude,
Barca. Bosco.
back in the day, that shit used to be enclosed. Remember, like you couldn't really go in there unless you knew somebody.
Yeah. Now, when I was little, I was a little kid. Nobody really messed with me, but
Yeah,
it was
dumb.
my brothers and them are the ones that they used to get messed with because they were older when they would go to Jingletown.
Yeah. No, I caught the tail end of it when the B-boys were still around.
Yeah,
You couldn't really go in there after dark and shit.
yeah, man. Yeah, those are cool memories. I remember a lot of those spots, bro.
Yeah. Used to
Yeah,
go take that on the trains right there next to Jingletown. What street is that? Fucking East 8th, I think, or whatever.
oh, the train tracks.
Yeah,
They had they used to tag up the walls over there.
yeah,
Yeah, I remember that. And
yeah.
remember the Oakland is proud on East 12th.
Yeah, that shit was there for years.
Yeah, that's a hella old school. If you're from the
Yeah,
town,
man.
you remember that.
By behind the monkey boy.
Somebody said I remember San Ho, the king of all flea markets. It used to be.
Yeah, back in the day. Oh, that shit. Oh,
I remember like when we were kids, the highlight was going to the Alameda or the Coliseum, and if you really were balling or you had money, you went to San Jose.
yeah.
And
On
the
a
San Jose
special
Flea Market
occasion.
was like a special occasion if you were way
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember that, bro. We used to go out there all the time, but it used to be way bigger back in the days.
Hella big though. You couldn't walk that shit one whole day. You let me take breaks and shit.
Yeah, I remember that, bro. And I remember. I don't know if you remember, bro. When I was little, I remember there being a flea market in Hayward, bro. You remember that?
Shit. Nah, right.
It was like San Leandro. No, like kind of like Castro Valley, Hayward border area.
Hmm.
Yeah, I remember it being there when I was hella little.
Castro Valley sounds familiar. I don't remember San Leandro.
I don't know if anyone in the comments remembers what flea market I'm talking about, but I remember going there when I was hella little, and then obviously, I remember the ones from the the area too.
I mean, unless it was at Chabot at the college.
Nah, it wasn't at Chabot. It was like fuck. It was somewhere like by the 580.
Yeah, could be Castro Valley then, because yeah, right over there where it's like the border between San Leandro, Castro Valley, and Hayward.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's probably over there, because that sounds familiar.
yeah, man. So hey, I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you have kids?
Nah.
Oh, okay. Do you have like little nephews or
Yeah,
cousins?
yeah. My little nephew, the older one's the one that came out in that little show. Remember
Oh
the
yeah, you told me. So have you ever
Pennywise?
talked to them like about the future and about guiding them at least the right way that you can?
Honestly, bro, like whenever I like try to get close to them like that, they don't even care, bro. It's just they're so far in the game now that uh, they're like gone, really.
They have to learn it the hard way, basically.
Well, the one we talking about, the one that came on that show, he got popped when he was about 13. He got shot in the stomach with a rifle.
Oh damn. So what? He
Yeah,
passed away.
no, no, no. Then after that, he came on that little show, the Gang Wars.
Yeah.
He's the youngest one. They called Fat Boy.
Mm-hmm.
And then from what I hear, he just got out. He was out. Fuck, I don't know, somewhere down Kern Valley, I think he was.
Oh
He just
wow.
got out. But from what I hear, he ain't doing that much better. He might be hitting back in. So he obviously ain't learned.
I'm talking about like, all right, what about smaller ones that are smaller, young now? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, his brother, he ain't never got into it like that. He was a little different, a little more kept to himself or whatever. But he's doing his thing too. And
With
they
me,
both,
I was like borderline into it. If I
yeah,
could, if I could say, if I could put anything to it, I was borderline into it. But then, very young, uh, I started seeing the reality of it. Like I just started seeing it. I started seeing it from my brothers. I started seeing it with all his homies getting killed. Then I went to jail, and then I was like, man, fuck this. You know what I mean? And I just like, I can't fuck around like this.
same year. Like to keep it real, this dude that he was in UNT third.
Uh huh.
Uh, I was about to get jumped in, or I was thinking about it, whatever. And then he like pulled me to the side, and he's like, you know what, dude, I regret that making this decision. Like if I were you, like I'll think about it and probably not do it. And then like it made me think, and then after that I was like, nah, I'm cool, because he was a real one, because he could have been like, yeah, fool, get in, whatever, get down. But
Yeah.
he knew I was down, but he knew the real. He's like, I just want to let you know, and then for play, if you're gonna do it, do it. But if I were you, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
And then he had just got shot in his hand or something, and then some other dude had got popped. So it was real. And then like afterwards when he told me again, I was like, "Nah, I'm cool."
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just didn't want to. And then I had my dad. Thank God I had my dad there, who would tell me as well, like, Jose, there's consequences to his lifestyle. If you get caught up, you're gonna be, it's not gonna be good.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I had my mom and my dad too, but I thought it was smart. I thought I knew it all, so I was doing my thing. So, but yeah, like he kept it 100. He's like, man, if I were you, I wouldn't.
So if anybody because I'm gonna get off soon, if anybody wants to tap in real quick and add on to the conversation, I'm gonna leave a link to the StreamYard. Please don't come in here with fucking bullshit and trolling and showing your fucking beep out like some weirdo J cat. You know what I mean? If you have those fantasies, go to Pornhub. We
Hey,
ain't got
if
time for it.
if Santa didn't bring it, maybe Los Tres Reyes will, but don't bring that over here.
Yeah, no. This is grown people talking. But
Yeah,
someone said something. Yeah, if long as you don't come on here with BS, bro. No gang banging, no, none of that, bro. Come in with some positive stuff, bro, with some cool stuff. Yeah, you could join on, brother. But but yeah, man. Someone said we're living in the digital age, and that's true. But a lot of people are starting to bring that into the digital thing too.
so it's been brought, dude. All them rappers that are getting killed over clown.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that Cubo Modesto in the house, but um, you know, a lot of our youth could be strayed the wrong way. You know what I mean? By that, they could look at them and be like, "Oh man, look at all these norteño rappers coming out. Look at all these sureño rappers or whatever." You know what I mean? I want to be like them. You feel me? And that's where they get caught up.
yeah. Well, it goes back to all the dudes that got,
What's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, Jay?
How
Hey,
you doing,
thanks.
Carnal?
Quick. Hey, I just was able to get some time off right now and started listening in and caught the last part of your speech. Trying to improve the youth and guidance and whatnot. So I wanted to just tap in real fast, give my little 2 cents.
You heard? Did you hear from the beginning when I was breaking down the history of how like the gang structure, at least in Oakland, even the Bay Area, originated from the Pachucos all the way till now, and how between those generational gaps, there was a lot of people that got killed, went to jail. Basically, genocide, raza genocide within that time. That's kind of like what I was talking about.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, no, I missed that part, but yeah, I got some knowledge about that. It's kind of compare it pretty much kind of like with the African American civil rights movement kind of went through. We have our own civil rights movement as well as our people as a raza. I'm native here in the Bay Area, in San Francisco. I'm
Frisco in
in.
the house. What part of Frisco?
I got brought up in the Mission District, and then I moved
Orale.
Visitation Valley. That's around Sunnydale, Geneva Tower area. Back
Okay,
then,
yeah, I know what that's at.
yeah, they had the Geneva Towers back then.
Yeah, man, in
So
San Francisco, I remember going to the Mission when I was a youngster, bro. That shit was a war zone back in the 90s and 80s.
yeah, it seems like there's a lot of different sets out there. Um, and right now, just with the times, things are diversified, but people are still out there. Just like
Yeah,
in the culture, you know, it's just different now. And basically, this new generation isn't like the way our generation was. And
yeah,
the youth nowadays, what they find appealing is usually, what they see on TV, what they listen to, what the fashion is, and all that stuff. So this that new look. That's some people call it the Hoto generation, but but that Hoto generation, that those are our nephews and our nieces, and it's gonna be our kids at one point. They're part of that
and I
generation.
always tell like even with Gunner, because I'm cool with Gunner, but I
That's
even
right.
like pose a question like, what are we doing to guide the youth the right way? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I could care less if they wear tight jeans or whatever. I mean, we can talk about fashion history, and tight jeans is nothing new. What I want to say is like, what are we doing to set them straight to not go down the wrong path? Even if we want to talk about raza and Chicano pride, what are we doing to instill our
that's what
history, our
from.
community history and pride, and our ancestors' pride into our youth?
The old is getting in the way real quick. So yeah, diversifying to the times right now, so that we can appeal to the kids and to the youth. But it's pretty much like the same struggle. It's just new times.
Yeah. Like the number one thing, let's just face it, like say in SoCal, the thing they say about us in NorCal is that we want to act black, that we gravitate to black culture, that we're ashamed to be raza, even though that's far from the truth. You know what I mean? We grew up in a very integrated society in Northern California. You know what I mean? Like me, I grew up, what's up, my ninja? What's up, blood? I'm from the town, but I'm a Chicano, you feel me? To the day I die, I know what I am. You feel me?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Something that we got to pass on to the generation is where we came from. Like
looks like we got a bad connection with homeboy.
Oh,
it's like a family tree. Everyone starts. People got to get educated with the culture, our language. A lot of our youth nowadays don't even speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Like I was born up
yeah.
here in San Francisco. Pero mi español está más o menos bueno. Y es algo que we have to pass on to the people. Because you gotta know where you're going. You gotta know where you came from. That's something
Are
that's
you
really
are you Mexican or are you Central
been
American?
kind of been lost.
Huh?
Salvadorian and Middle Eastern. I'm Salvadorian and Middle
Órale.
Eastern.
Oh,
Oh, that's
shit.
cool. From Central America or from out here? Because in El Salvador there's a lot of
From El
Palestinians.
Salvador.
Okay, is your family Palestinian?
No, no. Yeah, yeah. I know one of our previous presidents
Yeah, and Nayib Bukele, he's part Salvadorian.
Palestinian, you mean?
I don't know. I think homeboy is. I know
Connection
I
got
lost.
timed out.
I lost him. But shouts out to Frisco. Shouts out to
Yep.
the homies out in San Fran. You feel me?
Yeah.
Looks like I might have lost him. But yeah, man. Central America.
I don't know the way, kind of the way I see it, bro. Honestly, back
Uh-huh.
is a lot of them. They hear what we saying, but they're paying attention to what we doing. So they
Yeah.
remember when fools got locked up, when fools shot up their pops or their whoever, their big bros. And they could be hearing all that positive stuff, but then they still remember, oh, my uncle, my brother, my cousin. I remember when I was a kid, they used to, they used to come out and talk about the pen and all that. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what I noticed with my nephews. Like I said, I never went straight down that path, but so they could have never said they saw it from me, but they still chose that because of where they grew up.
Like me, when I was a kid, I remember like homies would come out making a big deal about Santa Rita, about going to jail, about going to North County. And then when I went there, I was like, man, this shit sucks.
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you, I didn't even, I never been there. Like I only been to San Leandro and downtown Oakland,
Yeah, I
and
went.
yeah, like it still wasn't cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's just a lot of fucked up shit, bro, that has happened and continues to happen to some degree.
Yeah,
And I just think if we at least tell the youth, even with stuff like what I'm doing, just a little something, maybe it'll get stuck in their mind. Even if they fuck up down their line, they're gonna say, "Damn, that dude Jose from Oakland Latinos United. I remember he said something, and fuck, exactly what he said is happening right now."
yeah. No, you're bound to touch at least one life, but I'm saying a lot of them they rather like go by what they see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and then and it's just like me, like my dad and various other people, bro, who would tell me like, "Well, said this is gonna happen. This is all bad." When I was in a bad situation, I would think like, "Fuck, exactly what they told me is what's going on," which is the reason. I'm old, bro. I'm 44. I speak from experience. You feel me?
yeah,
I speak from what I've seen. Yeah, maybe I wasn't a hardcore Vato Loco, but in a way I was because I was around those kind of people and I seen the fucking dangers of that lifestyle. And that's
yeah,
why I tell people that there's consequences to that stuff.
yeah. But like I said, some people it pushes them towards the right direction, and other people it pushes them further down. So
Like,
depends on the person.
the mistake I did, and I'll agree. I'll man up and tell everybody on this live feed right now. The mistake I did early on when I read a comment. I said when Mitchell Street, when I first started doing Oakland Latinos United, the mistake I made was I used to talk shit about gangbangers and I used to talk shit about those movements. And that wasn't the right way to go because I don't want to insult people and I didn't mean it. It wasn't coming from an insulting nature. It was coming from a this is gonna bring you down the wrong path. So now I embrace it. I came from that world, and I understand that was around me when I was growing up. You feel me? And I don't talk shit about it as much. I just try to tell people, yes, look, this is what existed. UNT 36, 38, Fruitvale, E7, whatever. This is what exists. This is what existed at one point. But a lot of these folks, even the Pachucos existed before them. But
Yeah,
all these folks let's include the Pachucos because we never include them, bro. When you think about it, we never include them in this conversation, mainly because they're mostly dead by this point. But even them, bro, they were going through the business, bro. A lot of them got killed and went to jail and went to the Pinta. I mean, the Pachucos were the ones that started NF and Mexican Mafia, bro. Let's keep it real.
that's true. Yeah,
The
that is
dudes who
true.
came from MA and NF, bro, were Pachucos. They weren't Cholos. Cholos didn't exist yet.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So yeah, I bring it back to those times, to the Pachuco times, because I think that gets left out of the conversation a lot. We only think when we think about Zusu Pachucos, we just think about LA and the Zusu rights, but we forget that in Oakland, in Richmond, and Hayward, and San Leandro, not no San Leandro, but Hayward and in San Jose, Frisco, they had Zoot Suiters out here. They had Pachucos, and they were big out here, bro. I've shared stuff with you. You've seen it,
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. Yeah,
and
we do forget.
and all this stuff comes from that era, and I try to bridge those gaps. And I've told you about the Hondos. That was a big thing in Oakland at one point. Those were Pachucos too, the Hondos and the 23rd Ave gang. You feel me? And it's
Yeah.
just it goes back. What's up, brother? Tapping in from Richmond.
No, from San Pablo.
Orale, what's going on, brother? I've seen you've been hitting me up lately, so I want
Yeah.
you to join up the conversation.
What's up? What's up, Jose?
How you
What's
doing,
up, Jay?
carnal? What's your name?
Um, you could see my name.
Mid B. All right, I'll call you that. So what's going on, bro?
Nah, nothing. I was just here to talk, you know.
What do you think about all this history I broke down today, or at least anything about this conversation? What do you have to add to it?
What do you think? Is the Border Brothers only in Oakland?
From what I know, yeah.
Uh,
I mean, maybe they had them in other cities. I think I heard they had them in Arizona at one point. You know what I mean?
Arizona. Uh,
Yeah, but
yeah,
as far as I know, they were big in Oakland, bro.
yeah. There's hella
Oh yeah, Big Nate. Yeah, he got killed by the Hayward police. He was from 38. You knew
oh
Big Nate shortcuts?
shortcut.
Probably.
Yeah, bro. But no, I mean, I'm talking about like, are you older or are you younger? The dude from San Pablo.
Yeah, I'm younger.
Órale. So
How
so
old
you're
is he?
you're from this modern from the new generation.
Yeah, for real.
Hello.
Yeah,
Órale. That's cool. So what's it like in San Pablo now, bro? I know there's a lot of raza in San Pablo.
yeah, for real. I see a lot of Mexican stores over there.
It is Mexico, bro.
I see.
But
Yeah, for
you know that San Pablo, bro, is where Richmond started. Back during
yeah.
the California time, it was called Rancho San Pablo. Did you know that?
Nah, not really.
They still have the Alvarado Adobe right there on a church and San Pablo.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever seen it.
Um.
What's up, homie from Frisco? You back on?
Yeah, back on. I think it's gonna work out this time.
All
What
right. Um. All right. I'm gonna leave. All right.
are pues?
See.
But yeah, brother. Yeah, we had a bad connection earlier.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, I think that's what's going on. Um, I got closer to the internet. I was outside, a little far out, smoking outside.
Oh, I feel you. Nah, I'm just chilling. Probably gonna get off soon, but yeah, like I was saying, we were just talking about. I was just talking about that history and you already heard what I was talking about.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. A lot of things are available on the internet. Not like when we came back in the days. We had a payphone and a pager, and nowadays a lot of things are available online. I mean, you could do anger management online. You could do traffic school online. So we got to exploit those tools to help ourselves, so we can help others. And every day should be a learning experience.
I mean, I've
I
heard,
tap
I've
in.
heard, I've heard other YouTubers say, "Bro, make money online." You know what I mean? I try to make a little something here and there online, and I do music, and I do a lot of other side things, bro. Because I just like to get paid, man. Fuck the bullshit. You feel me?
Yeah, man, money is definitely one of the big tools to be able to to help yourself. You got to help yourself so you can help others out too. Got
The
to take care
thing
of
is,
yourself.
the thing is that we also forget is that when we were growing up, there were a lot of economic collapses back then. There were a lot of what they call recessions. You know what a recession is, right?
Right. That's
There were a
right.
lot of
Yeah.
recessions. There weren't a lot of jobs. Jobs weren't, even if there was a job, they weren't paying much. And this is the reason why a lot of guys got into the game.
Yeah.
But it ain't even like that anymore. I mean, we're not in the Ronald Reagan era. We're not in the fucking Bill Clinton era no more. You know what I mean? We're in a whole new generation, a whole new ball court. Really.
Yeah. Society's always changing all the time, and you got to diversify either as a parent or as an uncle, whatever role model you playing, to be able to the game's always changing, always new moves, always new plays, and
Yeah, man.
just to make it work, to make it fit. Everybody's different. People come
Yeah,
from you got youth that are coming from poverty, broken families, um, you know, criminal backgrounds. So I mean that's what I think. People who's playing a role model gotta exploit, like for example, the internet. I tap into different channels, try to learn as much as I can from whatever I can, be able to help myself and help other people as well.
for sure. For sure. And I mean, that's why I do Oakland Latinos United because I mean, I love doing it. and I love talking to my people, bro. I got love for my people. You feel me? And that's why I keep doing it, bro. And I like to spread at least a positive message if I can.
Yeah, that's right, man. Yeah, that's where it's at, man. When a lot of people are, they either they ain't got the time or they're just too selfish and they're just doing themselves. But when you care about other people, that means a whole lot. They like they say, what goes around comes around. You got good karma and things like that. It'll come back to you because
So when you were
don't.
growing up, let's talk a little bit. So because I talked about Oakland, so I want to hear from a Frisco person. What was it like growing up in Frisco when you was growing up? Was it off the hook? Was it cool? How was it back in the days?
My times was mostly in the '90s when I was living in the city before I moved out to the Daly City, San Francisco borderline, which is Sunnydale's at.
Okay,
There was a lot of gangs at that time, and
like
there's just extra stuff that as a youth or just past your youth you got to worry about because by yourself you can only do so much, but if you stick together with others, you be able to move ahead. Now the thing is who you gonna stick together with. So
yeah,
you gonna try to get in where you fit in. You gonna
yeah,
start hooking up with people that look like you, dress like you, talk like you, and all that. And a lot
yeah.
of us just we don't have all that proper guidance. So a lot of us fell into that gang life, and that just made things harder when you get a
So
rap sheet and things
the
like
area
that.
where the area where you grew up, it was what, more homies, right? More homeboys.
Yeah, there's a lot of red teams, and the blue team was active back then. And the neighborhood, the Latino neighborhood in the city is really just isolated into just one area, and
Yeah.
everyone lives there. You gotta be careful where you walk. People getting blasted, people getting shanked in broad daylight.
All I
So
remember, bro, when I was a youngster and we go to Frisco, bro, that shit was fucking scary, bro. I remember like you couldn't go past 19th or 20th Street in that area, Lower Mission, bro, because the Sureños will fuck you up, bro.
yeah, true, man. You gotta keep your head on a swivel. You gotta be ready. Had a plan
That,
A and a plan B. So on top of having your worries about helping mom and dad out financially, whatever hustle you had going on, or whatever you was trying to get by in school, you also had to worry about getting to school or getting home or getting to your hustle. You have to worry about the environment.
yeah,
So a lot of people are a product of their environments. I think that's one of the main things.
yeah. I remember. I also remember going to the Tenderloin, bro, and there used to be a lot of Sureños down there slinging crack back in the days.
That's true. Yeah,
They're on 80th Street and all those areas.
yeah. 80th Street. There's some blue teams out there on 80th Street. I think
Yeah,
that I think that was one of the names of the crews out there is like 80th Street Boys or something like that.
yeah. Yeah, it was wild, bro. People don't believe me. Like a lot of people think of San Francisco of today that's more gentrified. But I tell some people, like I used to hang out a lot in San Francisco in the '90s, bro. And that shit was wild, bro.
Yeah, it was really wild. Yeah, it seems like it's a little more calmed down nowadays.
I used to
Uh,
hang out there a lot because I used to meet a lot of chicks out there, bro, and I'd go kick it with them. You feel me?
yeah, that's right. It's a really diverse city, and you got different types of cultures. All kinds of food. If it's too sunny on one part and you want to go to the fog, you just go down a couple blocks and you got the fog over there. Or you want to go to the beach, you got to catch the bus that way. It's pretty much a little bit of everything. It's not
Yeah,
the same. And,
yeah. But
and
I mean, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Even if the city is gentrified now, I still love going out to the city, bro. It's like I still think it's a very beautiful city. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, a lot of fucked up shit is going on with a lot of the homelessness and stuff like that, and people not respecting the city. But it is a beautiful city, bro. To me, I've always told people Oakland and San Francisco are very unique places, man.
yeah, a lot of people feel like we getting kicked out or something like that. And we still part of the city. I mean,
Yeah,
you got to have the right attitude.
yeah,
It's basically play ball to whatever game is playing at this time. You got to get with the program. You got to stop thinking like it was in the '90s and start doing what everybody else is doing.
Hey, hold on real quick. Hey, shortcuts.
What's up?
Somebody in comics named Eddie de Borja said what we know about Bosco. Bro, we were just talking about Bosco.
Yeah,
Like, bro,
you
I
missed
grew up
it.
on East 7th Street, bro. How am I not gonna know where Bosco is?
Yeah, late night.
Yeah, man. Yeah, bro. I don't. Are you familiar with Oakland, bro?
No, I'm not familiar with Oakland. I
You
just,
never, you never been out to like Fruitvale area of Oakland?
I just be in and out of Oakland. I'm mostly be occupied out there in the city.
I feel it.
No, I don't know too much about Oakland. Uh,
I mean, Oakland's cool right now. Oakland's fucking hot, but but I mean, Oakland for the most part. I mean, I think it's a cool town, bro. You know what I mean? Maybe because I'm from there, but
I know,
Oakland,
I know
Oakland is.
they
Yeah,
got some
I
good
love
weather.
Oakland, bro, for sure.
The weather's good out there.
Yeah, it's always warmer for sure than San Francisco.
Yeah, but being up in the city, you gotta have your sunglasses. You gotta have a jacket.
Well, my ex girlfriend, she used to live in South City, so I used to hang out in South City a lot, bro. And man, it was always foggy and cold out there all the time.
It's on and off all the time. Yep, that's right. And then the wind starts kicking in.
Yeah, but talking about money, anybody out there who want to donate to Oakland Latinos United, I'm gonna put a link to my Cash App. If you guys want to donate anything to the cause, Chicano YouTubers, help a brother out. I'm gonna leave a link on my message, on my comments, if you want to leave any donation out there. You feel me?
Good luck for New Year.
But yeah, oh, Shortcuts made a donation, bro. So gracias for that donation, carnal.
For sure, I got you. I got
So,
you.
Shortcuts supporting the cause, man. If you guys want to support Jose, I've been doing this for hella years. Help a brother out. They don't monetize my channel, so I gotta do what I gotta do. You feel me?
You know, they be hating on the homie, so we gotta help them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the
Hey,
youth.
y'all, I'm about to get off this thing. It was nice talking to you guys. I've been on here for almost an hour and a half, and I gotta
You
get some
too.
sleep. But yeah,
All right.
man. I want to say tap in with everybody. Hopefully, you guys like that spill, and
Yeah,
thank you. Huh?
everybody got to spread the word.
For sure, for
And,
sure.
the youth, they spend a lot of time on the internet, so you just got to get the word out, man.
Yeah, man. For sure. Hey, how did you learn about my channel, Doug?
I think uh, I think I came across it on Gunners Collective.
Orale, orale. Well, that's good. I'm glad at least they're helping me get people out here. And I know people talk shit about Gunner and Rojo and Flacco, bro, but I'm not a gangbanger, bro. So their politics or whatever has nothing to do with me, bro. I'll go on American Cholo or any of those guys' show too. I'm not
Yeah,
tripping, bro.
I mean, whatever individual's history and rap sheet or whatever, that's their own personal thing. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
we all trying to move forward collectively to better ourselves and better our people as a whole. That's what we got to keep it. That's how we gonna get ahead.
Yeah, for sure. All right, y'all. I'm gonna take you guys off the live, but
All right.
thanks for tapping in. Thanks Shortcuts. Thanks
For
Doug for
sure.
some fun. If you ever want to come back and discuss anything, Doug, feel free to, bro.
All right, on player.
I
All
know
right.
who you are now, but them haters out there, stop hating, man. All right, brother. But yeah, man, that was a good live today. Hopefully, you guys liked the live. Talked about a lot of barrio history out there. Hopefully, you learned some fletcher about Oakland, about the East Bay. You could tell that the East Bay was his home. You feel me? But yeah, man, I'm from that 510. You feel? But yeah, if you guys want to leave any little donation, I'm gonna leave a link down there to the Cash App. Link up to my Cash App and leave anything you want to give. $5, $10, $100. Help a brother out, help us out in these hard times. But yeah, man, I keep doing this for y'all, and I'm gonna keep on doing it. Somebody said, "What's the future for my channel?" I want to do more interviews. I want to eventually learn how to edit my videos a little better. I want to get it monetized, that's for sure. And I want to do more stuff on StreamYard. Bring in more people, have panels, And hopefully we get rid of the haters and weirdos out there that love pipas. You feel me? They like them long pipas in them. You feel me? But I don't go that way. So sorry, brother. I can't help you in that department. You feel me? So the JCAX, hopefully you guys stay away from my channel and go, I don't know, go to some other channel. You feel me? I don't want to throw no names out there. Go some weirdos channel. You feel me? Don't come to my channel. My channel is all positivity. What's up to Eliasar Becerra? What's up, tapping in from Napa? Cepeda, Eddie de Borja. You know what I mean? East Oakland 510. To the other homie, I think his name was Tawan Prince. You know what I mean? Mike Wallace. All the other homies out there from the town, from the Bay, from the Valley, LA, you feel me? Chicago, Detroit, wherever you might be from, if you tapping in, it's one love. But be sure to check out that Cash App if you want to donate to Oakland Latinos United, help the cause, you feel me? I've been doing this since 2007, and I'm still in this motherfucker. I ain't going nowhere. But y'all be safe, peace, and love.